Thank you very much for joining us today on the program Healthy Living. My name is Adesuwa Osa Owagie. We all know that rape is a traumatic experience that impacts its victim in a physical, psychological, and even social way. So we're just going to talk about it a little bit, the medical effect of rape on the victims and how they can go through it, because we've also realized that there is something called rape trauma syndrome. How do you recognize it? How do you know when somebody is suffering from this? That is why we must monitor victims. We must be kind to victims so that they do not become suicidal as a result of stigmatization and all of that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And it's no news that the number of cases of coronavirus infections in our country has really skyrocketed, and every day cases are coming up, and the doctor is going to tell us a little bit about that too, and we're going to talk about hypertension as well. All of this we're going to do today on the program Healthy Living. Please join me as I make welcome Dr. Barry Ojo. He's a family medicine practitioner here in Benin City. It's nice to have you join us today. It's been a while. I thought you disappeared from the radar.
Thank you.
All right, so doctor, let us quickly look at the medical effects of rape on the victims. Or
yes.
what is rape medically?
Yes, rape by way of definition, according to the FBI, is penetration. When there is a penetration of the vagina or maybe the anus or even the buccal cavity with the male organ. The bottom line is that this activity took place without the consent of the victim. According to FBI in 2013, across the world, rape is underreported, and it has become a stigma. And rape also can be mentioned as sexual assault. So you can talk about rape or sexual assault. The both of them can be used interchangeably. But having said that, this one, lately you can see the rate at which rape has taken a different dimension, especially in Nigeria, where you hear cases of teenagers who are most victimized, people between the age of maybe 10 to 19. We was also seeing cases of people going to the church to rape young people and all that. So the problem, the impact of rape is that it's a medical legal issue, but a lot of people don't come forth to report that they are being raped and all that. Then there are different types of rape. The commonest one is that of acquittance rape. Then at times some person take advantage of others to be able to force themselves between them. Then again, another problem about it is that, like you talked about stigmatization, so a lot of people are very scared, and the impact of rape on the family, you know, is very, very traumatic. So some persons come with, like, talk about a rape traumatic syndrome. There's the one who talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. Some persons can start developing psychiatric problems.
Okay, so let's talk about this medical effects or medical implication of rape on the
Yes, there are a lot of medical implications. First of all, when a sexual activity takes place or any form of sexual assault, for instance, if it's penetration, the rape victim most likely could contract any of these common diseases like HIV, AIDS, sexually transmitted infections, and all of that. Then secondly, patient is most likely to have a lot of psychological problem. So in medical world, rape is something that has to be taken seriously. But in this part of the world, rape is seen to, except when there are now government is involved, some like the M1 we'll talk about, there may be some civil rights organization, maybe it looks as if there is the government interest, because most of the time the trauma of rape is not to be overemphasized, because some people can start going on, look, you know, what we call about somatic disorder, remembering the effect of that activity.
So
of course, how is
somebody to know that, oh, this particular victim is becoming to have all of this?
That is where we are talking about. That's the essence of this program, where you talk about telling people that, look, when you are raped, don't look at it from the angle of the stigma. You have to, first of all, you have to go to the doctor, you have to go to the hospital. Then, because it's a medical legal issue, then from there, we can take it up, and then we can involve the law enforcement agent and all that. But the most important thing is to be able to encourage the victim, the law of psychotherapy, you know, and to let the patient or the victim, you must follow up very closely, because a lot of psychotherapy has to be involved, because a lot of patients go even depressed. Some even go and start having suicidal ideation because their womanhood has been defiled. So that's why we're telling government that more stiffer measures has to come for rape for those who are the offenders. Because you've heard cases of even in the offices, so many things happen. So, but what we are saying is that we are trying to use this avenue to say that, look, rape is not something that a lot of perpetrators go unpunished. Does not mean that rape, of course, it's an ugly trend in society, because if you look at the diaspora, Europe and America, in fact, a lot of people like Aro Kelly has gone down the drain because of the issue of rape and all that. But here, some high-profile persons will just get involved in some scandalous act, and they apparently look as if they are going scot-free. But again, another thing you look at that is why lately, you agree with me that rape in Nigeria, let's say in the last 6 weeks or so, like the case of Wyla, is taking more of a ritual dimension. Because why would somebody go to a 19-year-old girl in Ibadan city and rape her to death? So that's another dimension. You rape a victim, and at the end you mutilate the victim. Because for instance, let's look at those that are in the 20s. Rape can come from intoxication. Rape can come from threats, you know. But at the time you now rape a victim and eventually take the victim's life, there's more to it than meet the eyes. That's what we're calling our government and civil rights group to be more, they have to be up to date. They have to come up to stiffer measures, bring more punishable measures, so that will serve as a deterrence to the potential perpetrators.
Okay, let's look at the issue of defilement on children. What is the medical implication? Because there was this very gory picture that I saw on the net, and I was just so unhappy, where a 3-year-old girl was defiled by the mother's boyfriend, and then some parts of the girl's inner, like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, there was a lot of laceration.
We're not coming out.
Yes, the protrusion of the vaginal vault.
What's going to be the fate of that child?
Yes,
what is the medical implication of all of this? Is that child going to have a normal life?
Yes, that's what I'm saying now. When things like that happen, you have to, that's where it's a multidisciplinary approach. It's not just only the doctors or the health workers. You know, the psychologists have to be involved.
Let's look at the health implications and leave that of the legal aspect.
If reproductive tract is traumatized, you and I know that there are short-term, immediate-term, and long-term effects of those things. And for instance, the reproductive organ may have been damaged, but again, it depends on the level of damage. Because if you now go and traumatize a 3-year-old child who is just growing, and at the end of the day, the reproductive tract, it can lead to infertility. It can even lead to poor growth for the child. And when you say poor growth, mental growth and all that. So it's quite a serious matter. But my pain here is, as a family practitioner, is why will an elderly person go and traumatize a 3-year-old girl? Why would people even do this against people against their consent?
Even to a few months old baby.
Apart from the medical effect, you also look at the effect of this activity in the family. Because in family practice, you look at the effect of a problem on the family and the effect of the family on the problem. So that is what we are saying. Though that girl child needs a lot of protection. So whatever it is, the medical team will look at it, take it up, and of course the legal team and of course the law enforcement agent. Then whatever the level of damage, it depends on what has transpired. But what we are saying from this angle here, living, is that let's say no to rape, let's say no sexual assault. Because again, like I said earlier, there could be some ritual order at home. Well, I don't see any reason why, for instance, a 7-year-old girl will be defied by even some top people in order to. We have rape cases even in the churches. Even across the globe, we talk about a lot of some denomination where they will say they are not talking about you can actually also rape the same sex, because we heard about child abuse where some right sex, so it cuts across. But the sad thing about rape is that, or sexual assault, is that it mostly underreported. For instance, Benin, the study did in 2014 by Akin and others, reported that Benin had 13% of rape cases. 30.7%. Then Maiduguri was about the highest, almost 21%, of course, because of the war zone, because the Boko Haram insurgency and all that. So you have a lot of IDP children and all that. So they are vulnerable to all that. So the risk factors to rape is 1, poverty, 2, insurgency or time of crisis, 3, you look at society not protecting or not making stiffer measures for the offenders. That's why I see some people who have even committed such atrocities. Maybe in an distant time, you see them moving around the streets. So it's good. It's a society thing. That's what we're calling on right now.
For children, let's look at the recovery process.
In most times,
I've seen where parents, particularly mothers, will just heat up water, get a piece of rag, and try to like
that's not going to solve the problem.
Yes, we need to talk about that.
Yes, because first of all, you're going to evaluate that child. So many investigations are going to be done for that child. Common investigations and other like investigations will be done for that child. You're going to take swab, you're going to take specimen for the common illness. You're going to do like HIV and other tests. Then of course, you're going to examine the child.
It's important all of that is done on that child.
Yes, of course,
because some family of the victim seems not to want to go through all of that. So but it is very important that this be done for that child.
Yes, of course, even up to things like transvaginal scan and all that. Let's look at the level of the degree of damage. But again, some of these parents, they are scared of being stigmatized. Some of these persons are saying, no, if this goes to the press, it will be a problem. So,
and if this is not done for that child, what may happen medically?
Of course, child is going to have problem.
To like hammer on it.
Child is going to have problem with, of course, if you traumatize a child vaginally, they might start having additions. So child may not even have the normal development in that region. Of course, going to lead to child can acquire some incurable illnesses that's going to affect the child. Then child can also, all this can also lead to infertility, even the child's growth. Because at the end of the day, anything that goes wrong in the reproductive tract is a problem. So the child will not allow us to inherit all that. But again, when things like this happen, at least that child or that victim should go to the hospital. That's the first port of call. Like a case that I handled 4 years ago in EBGH, where this lady accompanied his acquaintance, just an acquaintance friend, to a small mini guest house. And they called his friends, they intoxicated the young lady, and they traumatized her. So such cases, she was clever to come to the hospital less than 48 hours. So in that, we'll now we'll take samples for various necessary investigations. Of course, we'll start what we call post-exposure prophylaxis. For instance, especially against HIV/AIDS, of course, we are going to bring emergency contraception to be able to intervene so that it prevent child, so in order to prevent pregnancy. But the most important one in that case is the post-exposure prophylaxis. Somebody has been exposed. There is this treatment of 1 month that you give to such a client, so that no matter what, no matter the status of the HIV of the offenders, definitely to be prevented. So that victim most likely not to contract HIV/AIDS. So we are using this avenue to tell the public that once somebody is raped, especially at the reproductive age of say between 15 and even 45, it's only the first port of call should be the hospital, because there are so many things to be offered. Okay. Despite this other complication you are talking about, or look at the immediate complication, because somebody can get pregnant and it becomes a problem. The paternity of the child will not be known, so you have to do emergency contraception. Of course, common illnesses that HIV can be prevented, and that will be done in the hospitals, like the general hospitals or even the teaching hospitals. So that is key. So if you don't say, oh, I'm raped, I don't want anybody to know, and you go to sleep, other illnesses can come, and other complications can come. So that's the problem.
All right, our number is 052-290-573. Peradventure, you want to call. And if you're making your calls, please reduce the audio level on your television set. That is, just remove the volume or move away completely from where your TV is, and then we can talk. All right, doctor, this one is... I saw somewhere that in Lagos, if you go out without your face masks, the person may be sentenced or will be sentenced to 6 months in prison, or pays a certain amount of money as fine. Now, in Edo, you will see that quite a number of us do not wear face masks in public.
That's the problem now.
And we do not, keep the social distance thing. And the number of infections is rising astronomically. Then you begin to wonder, what is happening? Why are people no more afraid of this thing? Or is it that, let me use our local parlance now, we don't see COVID-19 finish or what? Something like this. Is it that nobody really cares anymore?
Because
I went to the market and I was shocked.
Yes. In all fairness to the amiable governor that has been fighting COVID-19 along his team, the problem is, let me explain this at this one. We had a series of COVID in discussion in this place. The relevance of face masks cannot be overemphasized. How does one contract coronavirus? You have contact with persons either through touching and all that. And the most important thing, don't take the hand to the face. So if you are wearing a face mask, it has a lot of advantage. Then even before you remove the face mask, you make sure you wash your hands. Even if you have removed the face mask, you wash your hand and wash the face mask. So I don't see a reason why you are entering a public transport, for instance, you just find yourself in auditing.
No, the most annoying part is, in public buses, you see them, they just hang it on the chain.
So face masking is key, because at the end of the day, the illness is mostly from hand to face. So I know a lot of people are talking about aerosol transmission and all that, but face mask is key. Then hand washing is indispensable. So now, the other day we had 119 in those states in one day. Yesterday you had 30. 554 cases. We now have 28,711.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
sad. That's sad, because by April, last time we came here, we have just 400 in Nigeria. Today we're talking about over 28,711. So in the next 2 months, where will we be? So that's why we begin to reopen places like the airport and all that. I expect government to look at it squarely. I am not of the opinion that everywhere should be shut down, but the population should recognize that there's already a community spread, adverse spread. So we have to wake up. Brazil went to sleep, and today they are the second highest in the world. And this was 11,600,000. 11.6 million people have been affected with the coronavirus. Over 536,000 deaths. It's no joke. So Edo State is now fourth on the list, and we have elections that are around the corner. Less than 67 days time. So I am very worried. The health workers are very worried. And like you said, like 2 days ago, I drove through Ring Road. Look at Ring Road. You see the crowd. Nobody's on face mask. And face mask is the easiest affordable thing.
The moment you wear face mask to a place, they see you as somebody strange.
But that's not.
Somebody went to the barbing shop and could not barb his hair. Why? Because the barbers there refused to sanitize their hands. And I'm not sure the person asked for too much. Can they sanitize your
hands? Which is very important.
If you don't want to wash, can they sanitize your hands? Very important. Wear your face mask before you barb me. Yes. And they were like, please, you can leave if you don't want to barb. You know, I don't know, and it will continue to spread if we continue to have people like that in the society.
That's where the problem is now, because some people will say, like you said, we have not seen anybody that has coronavirus.
Exactly. Have you seen anybody with coronavirus? That is what they ask.
And I agree that the populace is thinking that some of these values are being exaggerated or over-reported. But coronavirus is here. The amiable governor has said that we should learn how to live with the virus, but we should obey the NCDC rules.
How do we live with the virus? There are people who are just bent on adhering to all of the rules.
Social distancing is 1, 2, ceaseless use of the face mask, and of course, continuous washing of hands. I don't see any reason why somebody would think that COVID-19 is going to be over in a no distant time. That's not possible. So that is the reason why, if my governor is doing well, I said, okay, let's live with the virus. I think what he says is what the doctors are also saying. This is real, but we must obey the rules so that the transmission can be going down. Because community spread can be very bad. Look at Brazil.
And the community spread seems to be amongst youth, say 15 to like.
That's the problem.
Like 40.
Because they are more ambulant, they are more active and all that for obvious reasons. But look at Russia. Russia has several thousands of corona cases. How many deaths? Up to now to 6,000 because of these simple rules. So at the time they were just saying, what is wrong with Putin? How can you put lions in the street? But has it not paid off? Compared to Brazil and people in India. So that's where we are. Our population is not densely populated. Over 60% of Nigerians are living in rural areas. So the few of us that live in the urban center, why not just obey the rules?
Why is it difficult for us to obey?
Because the people have gone to depravity. Don't forget, a lot of people are carrying underlying illnesses. So they have struggled. So the problem is that a lot of difficult times, and no matter how you look into the PTA program, led by Bob Mustafa, people see this everyday briefing as if it's fun. But it's not fun. And that's why it's no joke. That's why you see in the hospital, when we make sure that you can't come into the hospital setting, whether in private or public, without obeying the rules. I think the hospital is key. Even the churches are doing well. You cannot go in without being with face mask. Most of the churches that I have seen. So why not the public obey this? So that's why we're using this avenue to say, please, face mask is now as cheap as 15 naira. You can have us up to 3 or 4.
But you don't even have to buy. With your handkerchief, you can do yourself a lot of good.
So coronavirus is real. And you are looking for, let me tell you, an illness that can hardly affect the liver and the kidney. I don't see any reason why those illnesses cannot easily be prevented. Because most times affect the lungs. So again, if you now have exposure or contact to those who have had coronavirus so many times, then you go to stimulation. You don't have to wait for 14 days before you are negative. You have to do a lot of activity. What is even helping us is because of our melanin and our environment. If not, the situation would have been worse. So that's why we are saying that, please, coronavirus is telling the public, let us agree with this illness. So that for them we start making a headway. So like we're talking about rape just now.
Just like it's happening in Lagos, don't you think that if we have such a situation in Edo State,
it's just for the government to pronounce and for the law, for those in charge to keep the enforcement. I tell you, when you start dealing with people on this, you will see that even face mask price will go up. Like you said, you can improvise. So at the end of the day, you have to obey it, because when people were misconstruing what Pastor Chris said, I just laugh. Pastor Chris is the pastor, is not a doctor. What he's saying is that WHO played down the use of face mask. But today, for long as your hand does not touch your face, and you end up washing your hand before you remove and wash after you have removed, most times the person goes scot-free. It's an easy way. It's a strange illness, but the non-living quality of corona is that it doesn't have adaptability to heat. So that is the reason why even washing of hands is key. Lassa fever, Ebola fever has a lot of affectation on the vital organs. But corona, except you have underlying illness, even when you are well controlled, it might not be difficult. But you must manage. What are we talking about this incident? It's not just hygienicity. Is there anything else to do?
I guess a lot of Nigerians, maybe let's say middle class and those who are at the bottom of the ladder, they have this feeling that, oh, it's a big man disease, so let all they don't travel by air, they don't live in highbrow areas, so it's a big man thing. I guess that's what is still.
But again, the over 600 deaths that have been recorded in Nigeria, over 400 of people that have died are living below poverty line. That's the paradox. If the Delta State governor can tell you, look, I have gone through this. So many governors are even accredited lower from those states. This is that's the reason. That's one of the more reasons the populace should believe the illness and know the severity of the illness. That is a serious business. If an illness can go to the rich, it is not communicable disease that goes to the rich. You cannot see TB with the rich. You can only see some of these ordinary illnesses like the cholera and all that. But this is an illness that has even devastated Europe and America. So that is the reason why the common man should. That's why when you see those like the man around town, see people that come from Italy, Spain, they will be screaming, "It is real, no? It is real," because they have seen that.
But they are still not listening.
Now people are now saying that once somebody died in the hospital, they say it's corona. Who has said so? Corona is corona. Why I lost a church member not too long ago, about from a few days ago. They will say, it's not anything that happened. A lot of people are afraid to go to the hospital. And that makes matters worse. Because if you now have other, like say pneumonia, and you're not presenting in the hospital, that patient can go to respiratory failure. So it's like a mumbo jumbo. That's my pain. Because at the end of the day, there are so many illnesses that predated corona. Why is it COVID-19? The coronavirus that existed December 31st of 2019. So other viruses has come. But this one has become so strange and has took the world unawares. So I'm surprised that a lot of Nigerians are still there. If you are doubting the values you are seeing in the SCDC, that's your business. But the most important that it is real. I have had a lot of colleagues, I have had a lot of patients who have gone through all this. So instead of being more conscious, we are now living in doubt. This is not the time to be a Thomas, because the illness is most times affect the respiratory system. And the commonest feature of coronavirus is anosmia. Once you start noticing that you cannot smell, please watch yourself. I'm telling the public. Because most times those who cannot smell, we're not talking about somebody that has high fever or high malaria, and that's not what you just notice that you cannot look at this. Please see yourself as somebody that may have been exposed, of course, unknowingly. So you can go to stimulation. Hyper medicine is a big purview of family medicine. So you can do all the inhalation. Don't wait, because that smell has to come. Especially when you don't have other ENT and other illnesses that may lead to lack of smell. It is very important. Because that is what most times patients prefer. It's not talking about cough, recurring catarrh, and just patients start feeling unwell. Don't wait for it to, don't wait to go to the hospital. Start doing it before you rush to the hospital. Because it is real. The Army governor has said it. Like you said, maybe in the next few days, where they now clamp down on some states, I know Edo is one of them, to say they want to start another lockdown. I think in the next round of lockdown, that will take people to more depravity. People begin to see the reality of this illness. Because at the end of the day, malnutrition is a problem, hypertension that we are discussing shortly is a problem, diabetes is a problem, HIV is a problem, cancer is a problem. So at the time you now see an illness that is preventable, the beauty about coronavirus, let me tell you, it's one of the few viruses that you say, oh, I was positive, I became negative. So what are we talking about? HIV is for life. The medication is just to suppress the illness. So why not marry the rules of the game? Like Mustafa was saying in the church yesterday, in the Catholic church. So why not just obey the rules? The government wants money for too much. And the district governor has done so well. He has given us the leverage to move about. It was worse in Delta State. People were not dying more of hunger virus. So we now have a good opportunity to play our own parts. We should not wait for the government to clamp down on us again. Because to be sad.
Rather, people are busy drinking alcohol.
But alcohol, I don't have problem with those who drink alcohol. But my problem is that preventive? Take your face mask, maintain your hygienicity. Because you're taking alcohol, you're further destroying your liver. So that will reduce your immunity. I'm not against or for alcohol, but what I'm saying is that do the needful. I'm appealing to organization with this platform to say, just if you are running schools, if you are running, because some people are still doing some remedial classes and other, please obey the rules of our children. So that at the end of the day, now we're close to elections. That's my headache. Where there are going to be campaigns. So if a door is not number 4, then if in 2 months, 2 weeks to the election, will be number 1 or 2. Now we're not hitting Lagos. Lagos will get 140, will get 119. Lagos, like 2 days ago, Lagos got 105, we got 89.
We're not hoping for that.
So we're just praying that we should start ameliorating, like the way Oyo and others are doing. The situation will start getting ameliorated. We should start recovering. We should be pulling out from this community spread.
Not having more.
Yes, God help us.
All right, the number is 052-290-573. I know that you want to ask questions. Please do so that you get your answers. And the new one is 052-290-573. The number is right there on your screen. All right, Dr. Ojo, let's look at the issue of ingestion, because a lot of persons are beginning to ingest sanitizers without even knowing. Okay, some will just use sanitizers, so no water available, use sanitizers, and in the end they are picking up food and eating.
Okay.
What's the medical implication of that? Because I feel that they might just hurt themselves the most.
Yes, of course, because what is the rule? You wash your hands, you use sanitizer. So if you're not going to take things to your hands are clean already. What the rule is that if you wash your hands and you sanitize your hand, you're not going to take anything like food. You wash your hands. As you go to, just like going to eat food. Sanitizer is just to further sterilize the hand. It doesn't say that, because it's still a chemical, contains a lot of high dose alcohol. So, but have you also noticed that a lot of people have been sick lately? Have you noticed that? Because the fumigation that they did wasn't with propriety. A lot of people have fallen sick lately. We have a private hospital, so I know what I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't jump the gun. You must obey the rule. Okay? So that issue of sanitizer, I appeal to the public. If you are going to take anything, go up to biscuits, rewash your hand. Because anything that is coming to the face or the buccal cavity is trouble. So you must use running water to wash your hand before you take anything in. All
right, we'll do this call. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. Please tell us your name. Ask your question. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Silva. I'm calling from Monsieur.
Okay, thank you for calling.
I think I should first of all ask my question concerning the issue of rape.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I think before I ask my question, let me start by this. I'm a young man and I believe in the issue of any man who violated a woman or maybe he like domestic violence because of such men or such guys to be according on my own.
Okay, thank you for that.
Sometimes I really ask me around that rape of a female. Let's not get it twisted. This raping issue, to me, I believe some of them are spiritual issues. Because when if you go down to search for someone who, the guy who is involved in this raping of a thing, you discover, if you search for that person's biography, you discover that that person's mother or somebody related to that person in that person's family has done a similar thing before. I don't know if you can get me. Hello?
Hello, I'm listening.
Yeah, so that aside, I've heard some people have been watching your program and some people will say there is no way the girl will dress that warrants the guy being raped and this. And my questions go like this. I've been trying to say there is no thing, or there is no effect, or there is no advice beginning to these ladies that dresses half naked in this our time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So dressing half naked is a stimulant to arousing
Yes, we know we're just listing some few of the risk factors to it. But I think the issue of rape, it has to do with more of a mindset. Because at the end of the day, we agree that pornographic outings and wrong way of dressing is actually a risk factor. Yeah. But I think it's a society thing. Because we've heard rape, we heard of rape cases in the churches, we heard of rape cases even in the mosque. So what I try to say is that exposure of one's body in the street is not doesn't authenticate or validate any offender. Okay. So that's what we're saying here. We know we're looking at the medical implication and the psychological implication of rape, but that persons are not well dressed does not mean that somebody will go against the law of the land. So that is that. But again, rape is something that the government should wake up and have punishable offense for, because anything that is against one's consent, of course, is a criminal offense. So what we are saying is that even as much as we are encouraging public to dress well, say when going to outings, but we also know that there is always an intent. For instance, the 3-year-old girl that you talked about, was it all about dressing? That somebody had to use so many things to inflict sexual assault on that innocent girl. So what we are saying here is that rape is wrong. Government should wake up to put up punishable things, or to stiffer measures to punish the offenders.
All right, 052-290-573 is the number we're looking at, and that you're going to use to call us. And in recent times, we've been also told that a lot of persons are coming down with hypertension as a result of the effects of coronavirus. How true, doctor?
Yes, hypertension is an illness that is the commonest across the globe. But
what's the relationship
the connect is that a lot of people have been robbed out of their job. A lot of people have been robbed out of their businesses. So one of the risk factors to hypertension is stress. So once somebody is now not able to meet up some of these things, some of these obligations, so it's just a problem. So
okay, doctor, let's quickly take this call now. Hello, caller, good afternoon. Hello? Hello? That particular caller was getting really getting agitated. Hello, caller. Now I want to pick your call, you're not there. Okay, doctor.
So that's it. So hypertension, as it were, is any blood pressure above 140/90. So the environments, you can imagine persons that were doing well and their businesses are now collapsing. Don't forget, some persons are already at the borderline hypertension. Let's say 138.
And a lot of them are not even aware that they develop hypertension until they fall sick.
Of course. So a lot of risk factors are there for blood.
Let me pause you a bit here. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. And you?
I'm fine. I'm calling from Sogumba.
You're calling from Ugbawo?
Sogumba Road.
Okay, Sogumba Road. What's your name, please?
Yes. I'm 20.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
I heard the doctor says about market women and they don't wear face mask. But I was watching the gym before my friend got finished anyway. I'm not that serious. But I'm just like doctor. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm listening to you, yes. Hello, I can hear you.
Okay. The politicians on fair secular close to us when they become. Can you see the crowd there?
I am not. We're not talking politics here now. We're talking COVID-19. But go ahead. Go ahead.
With the no face mask on that, why are they particularly on the market women?
No, the doctor didn't talk about market women. I was the one who said.
The politicians are there. They don't wear face mask. They can't. They deal with them. There's no face mask, and there was no social distance. Why are those people the party market women? What happened to the market women? Do they offend them? What offends those people commit that always everything market women?
All right, I was the one who said I went to the market and the women wearing face mask. In fact, everybody's face was like there without face mask. So
market is not only for market. So it's not people don't want to buyers and all. I say that the general public are not recognizing the issue of the relevance of face masks. So they should see it as a way of life to put their face mask on always. That's what I say here.
Okay, so hello, Kala. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Oh, nice to hear from you. Go ahead.
Okay, but they all took my life now. But what I want to say, so what I know that this is Nigeria. You understand?
Yes.
So, but I don't have more to say. What I need to say is that the NCDC, they should be showing this patient we have, so that we can be seeing the patient. You understand?
Okay.
So that then we really have that there's coronavirus in Nigeria. Not the number they are showing us. The numbers get increasing every day, and we are not seeing patients.
Okay.
So that is my own.
All right.
I don't know if I can follow you on media.
Okay.
Because they are in my life now.
Thank you for calling. Caller does not believe in blindfolding. He needs to see.
No, that is what the Minister for Health and the PTF chairman has said it many times.
Yes.
That there is confidentiality. You don't disclose the illness of any patient without the patient's consent.
Yeah.
So that is key. So coronavirus is just like every other illness, just that it's devastating to the general population. It's a global pandemic which has ravaged the world. So the confidentiality is very important.
Yes.
So the issue is this: the coronavirus is real. We accept that. You accept that, like when Abubagatiko disclosed the coronavirus status of his son. But that was his own. So it is not the NCDC or the hospitals that went to disclose. Like when Akawa came and said, "Oh, my daughter was this." So those are people who are occupying some. There's so many people who occupy big positions in society that they could be positive, and nobody's going to
came out to talk about it.
Of course, like recently you can see the Peace Square brother, one of the Peace Squares, and say, "Oh, it was traumatic."
Even a young man that came out the other time on our news. You know, by the time he left the center, he has lost his home and job. Stigmatization.
I agree with you.
So
but the likes of the person came out to say, "Oh, this was my experience." That is an individual. The doctors and the health team and the NCDC team, they don't have the jurisdiction. To do just that. Like every other illness. So that's it.
Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Hello. Hello. Okay, my caller is busy. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Please tell us your name and ask your question.
I'm Shiva. I just got back. I just got back.
Okay.
Because I wanted to talk based on this corona
Please go ahead.
See, permit me, already I will say I'm sorry to say this word to me. My personal self, I don't believe coronavirus is existing in Nigeria.
It's not existing?
In Nigeria.
Oh, okay, that's your opinion. That's your personal opinion, yes. Yeah? Okay.
And if you ask me to prove it, I have every reason to prove it. I have every way to say it. Like, I have heard the doctor telling us some officials are coming out to tell us this, they were infected. One of the Peace Square came out to say he was infected and stuff like that. All those different people coming to say, what if those people, those high-ranking people, those top people in the country, and the government are using to prove to us that the thing really existing for them to get the cash they are getting.
Well, all right, Kola, that's your personal opinion, but thank you anyway for sharing. It's your opinion. Okay.
The problem there is
Doctor, let's go ahead.
Okay. The problem there is that a lot of people will say before coronavirus came, we used to have common cold, this and that. We agree with all that. But again, coronavirus is real. It has nothing to do with an individual opinion. just like every other pandemic that has come. We have Lassa fever, we have Ebola fever. Probably if Ebola was more tragic across the globe, that's how some people would have been doubting tumors. Just recently, about 2 days ago, I lost a neighbor, and UBG said that's coronavirus positive. So when I saw it, so it's not by individual opinion. It's not even the issue of objectivity. It has come to stay. Like you said, what we are trying to look at now, how do we reduce the spread? Because for now, there's no vaccine. When there's no vaccine, there will not be a cure. So we are looking at the level of prevention.
And you doctors have said that treatment is systematic.
Yeah, so we are looking at, yes, and again, over 80% of coronavirus patients might be asymptomatic. We are just saying if you have lack of smell.
Yes, let's talk about that asymptomatic. A lot of persons are carrier, but they are not even aware.
Yes.
And then they are just innocently.
There are two ways to asymptomatology. One, a patient is having a problem, he doesn't even know that he has an illness. Two, some of these symptoms can be non-specific. Somebody can just be having common cold, doesn't mean it's coronavirus positive. Person can just be having loss of smell, that's what we're saying. Person can be having a correct cough, it can be allergic, it can be infective. So, if a patient is having any form of illness, especially all these respiratory tract symptoms, go to the hospital. Don't take anything for granted. Individuals by now should have high index of suspicion. It's the populace that should be having the high index of suspicion. So I'm surprised that a lot of persons are still saying that.
Doctor, let me pause you. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Please tell us your name and ask your question.
Okay. My name is Dr. Cruz. I'm calling from Ekosodi.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah. I heard the doctor saying coronavirus is real. Okay, I agree. Why can't they show us the patients? At least, even though they can blur their face, at least, why can't we see the patients?
Okay, let me just ask you a simple question.
Okay.
Peradventure, you go to the hospital someday and the doctor say, guy, you have a gonorrhea or sexually transmitted disease. Will you tell your friend? Will you tell your neighbors? Will you tell your girlfriend? You may tell your girlfriend, but will you broadcast it?
Actually, to be sincere, I would say no.
Okay, fine. So the doctor just said that those with coronavirus is their private thing. And the doctors must respect their privacy. If they want to tell the world, fine. But if they decide not to, because of this thing called stigmatization, that is why a lot of persons will not come out. Of course, those that have been coming out to say that, well, they tested positive, now they are negative, you cannot stigmatize them now, can you? It's like saying you want to stigmatize the speaker. Is it possible for you to do that? But other persons, it's easy for them to get stigmatized. Or you're working for somebody and the person says, no, I don't want you in my establishment again because you tested positive. It's just like the issue of HIV once upon a time in Nigeria. So, caller, I hope you are satisfied.
Let's look at it. We have about over 32 centers. We have over 32 COVID centers in the country.
Yes.
So this young man can take place to go to Europe, for instance. Or even Obasanjo. He can just have a look. He will see that some persons are over there in isolation. So it's no joke. I think it has to do with mindset. Because what has killed over 121,000 Americans, over 40,000 British, Nigerians close to 650. I don't think, if you are saying that there could be other underlying illness that might be coexisting with the patient that died of coronavirus, agreed. If you are saying that, oh, this valuation the CDC has given us, no problem. It's your opinion. Or maybe they will just have 10 to record 50. I don't have a problem with that. But if you say coronavirus is not existent, we don't join issues. But we were saying that any of these symptoms that comes up, go to the hospital. Before you go and spread it to your family. Because we don't have a vaccine, we don't have a cure. The word is in the face. The Minister for Health has just said the Minister for Health has just talked about the Madagascar concussion. He said it on Saturday. He now finished with Dr. Hanire. He has said that the Madagascar concussion is usable, but it's not anti-malaria treatment. But the good news is that it has less toxicity compared to chloroquine. Chloroquine is like a multi-purpose drug. We were using chloroquine before. We were using chloroquine to treat leprosy before that's okay. So all this idea of
we'll try not to talk about drugs, doctor.
What I'm trying to say is that if the Minister for Health can tell you that we are using a concussion from Madagascar, there is not a cure, but we can use it as a placebo. So if the #1 doctor in the country is saying that, why are the Thomas That's that. I'm not even bothered about those that are doubting. My problem is community participation is key. People should wake up to the occasion to say this is free. Let's see how we can combat or abate the situation.
I don't know what this self-denial is all about.
That's the way you said talking about once upon HIV and all that. He has said he's not going to tell anybody if it's gonorrhea or whatever. But my problem is there is constitution. The medical practice is guided by laws and ethics. The same thing with the Nigerian constitution. I cannot disclose the health status of my brother, even to my parents. He can sue me. It's as worse as that. Let alone pandemic, like talk about stigmatization. If a teacher is in a school or a parishioner is in a church and they say it's positive.
Hello?
Okay, hello caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please tell us your name and ask your question, sir.
Actually, please, I'm calling back again.
Okay.
I want to ask, except from cough, catarrh, and fever, and cold, what other symptoms is there that you can know that you have the COVID-19?
Okay.
Yes. Other features include abdominal discomfort. The patient can be having dizziness. That's all. Those are the non-specific features. Of course, the patient will be feeling unwell. The patient might be having loss of appetite. Very common. Because if you don't have smell, you will not want to feed. Because if you are taking, let's say, a yam porridge and you are feeling smell, most times you can't continue with the food. So loss of appetite is key. And patients think to you notice that something is going on.
Loss of taste part of it too.
Just go for taste. That's a good sign. But again, if a patient is diabetic and there's corona, I tell you this one, no matter the anti-diabetics, the sugar can be rising. Because there's already a strange virus in the system. So once you now notice that your vital signs are not stable, rush to the doctor. Of course, it can be raising or decreasing the blood pressure. Okay. So all this put together, even in the diaspora, the reason why very many Nigerians died in the UK was that they now had very difficult time to have access to their GP. Of course, the racial thing. That's how we lost a lot of Nigerians in the UK and the US, or like Italy and other places. So you are not your personal doctor. Even medical doctors and other health workers, when they have these issues, they run helter-skelter. We saw that in UBCH. We saw that in so many places.
Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Go ahead.
What is it called?
Because, for instance, in Ebola and Lassa, patients can start vomiting or blood or nose bleeding. But these ones, because it has not much affectation on the liver. The liver is in charge of clotting of blood and the kidney. So most times you hardly see all those bleeding episodes or vomiting and all that. But all these other common symptoms that you see even in common cold can be in, but 80% of these patients are asymptomatic. I have seen the coronavirus patient in 10 days, he has lost weight. Of course, maybe probably from the loss of appetite. So everything can go together. But again, once you are exposed to coronavirus, any exposure to somebody that is positive, take 14 days. If you go and do the test, to me, you are just doing for formality. It takes 14 days in isolation. By the 15th day, you cannot do the coronavirus.
Well, self-isolation has been advised.
That's what I'm saying. After self-isolation, then you cannot do the test at the end of 14 days. Okay. It's like somebody is being raped. We talk about rape. You go and do a HIV test. It's just to know the baseline. That the victim was he HIV positive. All
right, Dr. Tam is now our friend. Just tell us briefly how we can live with coronavirus, because it has come to stay, whether we want to take it or not. It's everywhere and people are talking about it. So how are we going to live with this? More so that the lockdown has been eased. So yes. We'll do this quickly in another 2 minutes.
We also have a herald of lockdowns forthcoming, we don't know. But first of all, there should be acceptance. Because acceptance of an illness is already a headway. You agree that this virus is here. So social distancing is key. Of course, continuous hand washing. Of course, face masking is very indispensable in the fight of this. Then again, hygienicity in our environment. Then we can do continuous fumigation of our environment. Then of course, exercises. Of course, try and stay away from crowded environments, because at the end of the day, you never can tell who could be infected. So then, go out less, just like you hear in the common advertisement, except those movements are necessary. Then again, let's just be positive that in a no distant time, coronavirus will be a thing of the past.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Joe, for finding time to be with us on this program. But you can do a follow-up by calling 080-266 87187, 080-266 87187. So call us on that number and we'll be able to discuss more on healthy living. I'm Adesu Osawage, thanking you very much for being part of our show today. We'll see you again on Monday, and we'll see you on Thursday on radio, the Pidgin English version. Thank you, Dr. Ojo.
Thank you very much, Adesu.
All right, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.